Liam Carter surveyed the bustling corridors of the remote interstellar research facility, not quite used to the buzz of activity yet. As one of the few humans chosen for this mixed-species initiative, he was keenly aware of his surroundings, especially the myriad of alien species that shared the space. His focus was on xenosociology, a field that allowed him to dive deep into the customs and cultures of alien civilizations. Today, he was waiting in the main concourse, watching beings from different planets go about their daily routines. Suddenly, a voice interrupted his observations. "Excuse me, are you Liam Carter?" the voice asked in an uncertain, melodic tone. Liam turned to find a slender figure standing before him. The woman had an iridescent quality to her skin, and her large, expressive eyes gave away her curiosity. She was unmistakably Eryxian, a species known for their diplomatic grace and enigmatic thoughts. "Yes, I am. And you are?" Liam replied, offering a friendly smile. "I'm Aelira," she said, extending a hand, which Liam noticed trembled slightly, a rare sign of nervousness in Eryxians. "What brings you to me, Aelira?" Liam inquired, genuinely intrigued. "I've heard about your work on interspecies relations," Aelira began, her gaze fixed intently on Liam. "I'm here on a similar mission, and I thought perhaps we could exchange our findings. I believe there's much we can learn from each other." Liam was taken aback by her directness. Collaborations were common, but it was unusual for an Eryxian to seek out a human so openly. Sensing an opportunity, he gestured toward a quieter corner of the concourse. "As we walk, perhaps you can tell me more about what you're hoping to discover," Liam suggested. As they moved away from the crowd, Aelira's initial hesitation faded, and she began to speak more freely. "My people are fascinated by human emotional expressions. We sense emotions, but your physical expressions, your facial movements, your body language, are foreign to us." "That's fascinating," Liam said, genuinely interested. "Humans rely heavily on such expressions for communication. Without them, we'd often misunderstand each other." Aelira nodded thoughtfully. "Exactly why I'm here. I want to understand these unspoken elements. In return, I can share how Eryxians communicate through our empathic abilities, how we navigate complex social dynamics without words." Their conversation continued as they reached a small lounge area designed for quiet discussions. Liam and Aelira chose a secluded table where they could talk without interruption. "I must admit, I'm also personally curious," Aelira confessed, her eyes shimmering with a blend of professional interest and personal intrigue. "The concept of individual privacy and communication is so alien to us. The idea that one can never fully know another's thoughts unless shared willingly. It's both strange and fascinating." Liam chuckled softly. "It's often a source of conflict among us as well, but it allows for personal boundaries, which are crucial in our society." As the hours passed, their discussion delved deeper into the intricacies of human and Eryxian communication. Liam explained various human customs, from handshakes to eye contact, while Aelira described the subtle shifts in mental energy that Eryxians used to convey their intentions and feelings. "Would you be willing to show me some of these expressions? Maybe teach me the nuances?" Aelira asked, her enthusiasm evident. Liam was impressed by her eagerness to learn and nodded in agreement. "Of course, and perhaps you could help me understand how to sense and interpret Eryxian empathic signals. It could greatly enhance our collaborative projects here." Aelira agreed, and they decided to meet regularly, dedicating time to teach each other about their respective cultures and communication styles. As they parted ways that evening, Liam felt a surge of excitement. This unexpected encounter had not only opened the door to an enriching exchange of knowledge, but also to a potential friendship that could bridge the gap between two vastly different species. As Liam walked back to his quarters, he reflected on the day's events. His role here was not just to observe and learn, but also to connect and understand. With Aelira's help, he was beginning to see just how transformative this mission could be. The following morning, Liam awoke with a sense of purpose that had been amplified by his conversation with Aelira the previous day. He prepared for their meeting with a mixture of excitement and a slight nervous anticipation, wondering about the new insights he would gain into Eryxian communication and what he might share about humanity that would intrigue Elira. They had agreed to meet in one of the facility's communal research labs, a space filled with technological advancements and instruments designed for interspecies studies. When Liam arrived, Elira was already there, examining a holographic display that illustrated various human and alien anatomies. "Good morning, Elira," Liam greeted, his voice echoing slightly in the large, quiet room. Elira turned, her face lighting up with a smile. "Good morning, Liam. I was just looking at the differences in our physiological structures. It's fascinating how diverse life forms can be, even within similar environmental needs." "Yes, it really puts into perspective how varied solutions to similar survival challenges can be," Liam agreed, joining her by the display. He pointed to a diagram showing the human nervous system. "For example, this is how humans have developed to process and express emotions physically. Our emotions can trigger various involuntary responses." Intrigued, Elira listened intently as Liam described the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, explaining how these could lead to physical expressions like blushing, sweating, or shivering. "It's quite different from Eryxians. We have more control over our emotional expressions, because they're more mental than physical. That must be useful in managing social interactions," Liam mused. "It is, but it also means that our misunderstandings are less obvious," Elira explained. She shifted the display to show an Eryxian brain-like organ, complex with interconnected lobes not found in humans. "Our empathic organ allows us to feel the mood of others around us. It's sensitive, but not infallible." As the morning progressed, they discussed various scenarios where human and Eryxian communication methods could clash or complement each other. Elira was particularly interested in the concept of misreading someone, a common human issue that was rare among her people due to their empathic abilities. "To help you understand, maybe we could role-play a few scenarios?" Liam suggested. "We could act out a situation, and you could try to interpret my body language and what I'm saying." Elira agreed enthusiastically, eager to test her understanding in a practical setting. They spent the next hour enacting different social interactions, from a simple greeting to a more complex negotiation scenario. Liam made it a point to include subtle human cues like crossed arms, avoided eye contact, or forced smiles. After each scenario, Elira attempted to interpret Liam's emotions and intentions. She was quick to learn and adapted her interpretations after feedback, showing a keen understanding of human subtleties by the end of their session. "This is incredibly helpful," Elira said, her tone grateful. "Understanding these nuances will make a significant difference in how I interact with not only humans, but other species as well." Liam nodded, pleased with the progress they had made. "And I've learned a lot about how direct and open Eryxians are. It's something that frankly could benefit human interactions. We often complicate things unnecessarily." They wrapped up their session with plans to continue their cultural exchanges. Both recognized the value of such interactions, not only for their personal understanding, but also for the broader implications of their work at the station. As Elira left the lab, she turned back to Liam with a thoughtful look. "I'm beginning to see how much our species could learn from each other. Perhaps this is the start of a deeper collaboration?" Liam smiled, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. "I think so, Elira. Let's keep exploring and see where this journey takes us." Their meetings became a regular part of their schedules, blending scientific inquiry with a growing friendship. Each session opened new avenues of understanding and mutual respect, setting a foundation for what they hoped would be a lasting impact on interspecies relations. The corridor leading to Liam's quarters was usually quiet at this hour, the soft hum of the station's life support systems a steady backdrop to his thoughts. Tonight, however, his mind buzzed with anticipation. Elira had expressed an interest in understanding even more about human culture, specifically the intricacies of human relationships and intimacy, a topic they had only touched upon in abstract terms before. As he neared his door, he saw Elira waiting, a look of earnest curiosity on her face. Liam smiled, struck again by the uniqueness of her appearance and the subtle way she seemed to blend into the surroundings until she moved. "Good evening, Elira," he greeted, keying open the door. I wasn't expecting you to arrive so early. Hello, Liam, Alira responded, her voice carrying a trace of excitement. I apologize if I am too early. I was eager to continue our discussion. Not at all, you're welcome anytime, Liam assured her, stepping inside. I've set up something that might help illustrate today's topic more effectively. Inside, Liam's living area was modestly furnished but comfortable, with a couple of couches and a small table set up with various human cultural artifacts, books, music players, and even a couple of classic board games. Alira stepped in, her gaze immediately drawn to the items on the table. These are tools for human bonding? She asked, picking up a well-worn book. In a way, yes, Liam replied, joining her at the table. These items represent leisure activities that humans often share with one another, helping to strengthen personal bonds. He picked up a deck of cards, shuffling them expertly. Card games, for example, are a popular form of entertainment and can be a casual way to build rapport and enjoy each other's company. Alira watched intently as Liam dealt a few hands, explaining the rules of a simple game. They played a couple of rounds, during which Liam took the opportunity to explain how games could lead to deeper conversations and connections, something that seemed to resonate with Alira. As the game concluded, Alira set down her cards, her mind clearly processing the new information. And these activities could lead to what humans call friendship? Yes, exactly, Liam affirmed. And sometimes these social interactions can evolve into something more intimate, more personal. I see, Alira said, a hint of uncertainty in her voice. But how does one transition from friendship to more intimate relations? Liam considered how best to explain. It's about emotional closeness, he started. When two people share experiences, trust, and personal thoughts, they might develop stronger feelings for each other, feelings that go beyond friendship. And these feelings are expressed physically? Alira asked, her curiosity unabated. Yes, through gestures like hugging, kissing, or more intimate contact, Liam explained, careful to gauge her reaction to ensure she was comfortable with the discussion. Alira nodded thoughtfully. I am beginning to understand, but it is a complex process, isn't it? For humans, these actions must be approached with care and mutual agreement. Exactly, Liam replied, pleased with her understanding. Consent is fundamental. Both parties must be clear about their feelings and intentions. The conversation shifted as they moved over to the couch, where Liam played a few pieces of classical music, explaining how art and shared aesthetic experiences could also play a role in deepening human relationships. As the evening wore on, the dialogue between Liam and Alira deepened, covering not only the cultural practices, but also touching on the emotions involved in human relationships. Alira was quick to grasp concepts, asking insightful questions that challenged Liam to think about his own cultural norms in new ways. I appreciate you sharing this with me, Liam, Alira said, as the night drew to a close. It gives me much to consider about the nature of intimacy and connection. Liam nodded, sensing they had reached a new level of mutual understanding. I'm glad to hear that, Alira. I think these conversations are invaluable, not just for our understanding, but for the broader interaction between our species. Alira stood, ready to leave, but paused at the door. May we continue these discussions? I find them enriching. Of course, Liam replied with a smile. I look forward to it. Liam's quarters felt unusually charged that evening, the weight of anticipation palpable as he prepared for Alira's visit. Their discussions had progressively delved deeper into the realms of human emotional and physical intimacy, and tonight they planned to explore these concepts firsthand. As he adjusted the lighting to a softer glow, Liam found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this point, a mix of academic curiosity and a genuine connection that seemed to transcend their species' differences. When the chime of his door sounded, Liam's heart skipped a beat. He opened the door to find Alira standing there, her usual calm demeanor accompanied by a subtle, yet unmistakable air of nervous excitement. Good evening, Alira, Liam greeted, stepping aside to let her in. Thank you for coming. Good evening, Liam, Alira replied, her voice carrying a hint of something new, perhaps a reflection of their deepening rapport. I've been looking forward to our discussion tonight. As Alira entered, Liam noticed her gaze linger on the arrangement of the room, Candles added a gentle flicker of light, casting soft shadows that danced across the walls, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. He had also laid out a soft blanket and pillows on the floor, intending to offer a comfortable space for their explorations. Liam led Alira to the sitting area, where they both took a moment to settle into the serene environment. He began by revisiting their last conversation, ensuring they were both comfortable and aligned in their intentions for the evening. "Alira, before we proceed, I want to emphasize the importance of consent and comfort," Liam said earnestly. "Everything we discuss or explore tonight is mutual, and either of us can pause or stop at any time. Does that sound all right to you?" "Yes, Liam, I appreciate your consideration," Alira responded, her eyes meeting his with a sincere depth. "I trust you, and I am ready to continue our exploration of human intimacy." Encouraged by her response, Liam took a slow breath and decided to start with the basics. Human intimacy can involve various forms of touch. For example, this is called holding hands. He reached out his hand, palm up, inviting her to place hers in his. Alira extended her hand, and their fingers intertwined, a simple gesture, yet charged with unspoken communication. Alira's eyes widened slightly, a sign of her surprise at the warmth and sensation of the contact. "This is very different," she remarked, her attention fixed on their joined hands. "It's quite warm, and there's a strength to it." "It's a way to offer comfort, to connect," Liam explained, gently squeezing her hand. "For us, it's a foundation for building trust." They continued like this for a while, Liam guiding Alira through various basic human contacts: hugs, gentle touches on the arm, and an exploratory caress of the face, each step accompanied by careful explanations and attentive observation of Alira's reactions. As the evening progressed, each new touch seemed to build a bridge between them, a mutual understanding that transcended words. Alira, in turn, shared more about her species' empathic connections, trying to convey the sensations through their linked hands. "Liam, this is truly enlightening," Alira said, her voice a whisper. "I am beginning to understand the depth of human connections. There is a warmth here, a closeness that I did not anticipate." "I'm glad to hear that," Liam replied, feeling a profound connection not just to Alira, but to the moment they were sharing. "It's about sharing parts of ourselves, learning about each other in a way that words sometimes can't capture." They spent a few moments in silence, simply experiencing the connection. As the night drew to a close, Alira slowly withdrew her hand, though the lingering warmth remained. "Thank you, Liam, for sharing this with me," she said, standing to leave, but pausing at the door. "I feel closer to understanding not just humans, but you." Liam stood as well, feeling a mix of contentment and curiosity about the future of their intercultural exchange. "Thank you, Alira, for being open to experiencing this with me. I look forward to our next steps together." As the door closed behind her, Liam felt a quiet sense of achievement and wonder. They had crossed a threshold tonight, not just in understanding, but in the intimacy of learning about one another's worlds, a first contact of a profoundly personal kind. The soft hum of the research station melded with the silence of Liam's quarters as he prepared for another evening with Alira. The previous session had left an indelible mark on both of them, pushing the boundaries of their cultural exchange into realms neither had fully anticipated. Tonight, they planned to delve deeper, exploring more about how their respective species experienced pleasure and connection. Liam had arranged the room thoughtfully, placing sensory objects from both human and Eryxian cultures on the table. Textured fabrics, aromatic compounds, and visual aids were all part of tonight's setup, intended to stimulate discussion and sensory exploration. When Alira arrived, her eyes immediately brightened with curiosity, drawn to the array of items displayed. "You have prepared quite an experience for us, Liam," she remarked, her tone infused with intrigue. "Yes, I thought we could explore how our senses affect our interactions and our understanding of pleasure," Liam explained, guiding her to the table. Each of these items represents different sensory experiences crucial to humans for establishing emotional and physical connections. Alira was particularly fascinated by a set of essential oils, each with a distinct scent. Liam watched her reactions as she inhaled lavender, then sandalwood, her expressions shifting subtly with each fragrance. These are soothing, she noted. In Eryxian culture, we also use scents, but more for healing than for pleasure. Scents can have a powerful effect on human emotions and memories, Liam shared, picking up a bottle and dabbing a small amount on his wrist. Here, try this one. It's called jasmine. It's associated with relaxation and, sometimes, romance. Alira followed his gesture, applying the oil to her own wrist. She inhaled deeply, her eyes closing for a moment as she processed the new sensation. It's very calming, she agreed. I can see how this would aid in creating a conducive atmosphere for intimacy. Encouraged by her interest, Liam then introduced a soft, plush fabric, explaining how touch played a significant role in human interactions. Touch can convey many things: comfort, love, reassurance. Here, feel this, he said, handing her the fabric. As Alira ran her fingers over the material, Liam continued, Human skin is highly sensitive, which makes the sense of touch a key component in our emotional and physical connections. This is much softer than anything we have, Alira observed, her fingers lingering on the texture. Eryxians do not prioritize touch in the same way. Our connections are more cerebral. But feeling this, I begin to understand its importance to humans. They moved on to visual stimuli, examining paintings and photographs that depicted human interactions and landscapes. Liam described how visuals could evoke feelings of awe, peace, or joy, further enriching one's experience of the world and others. As the evening progressed, their conversation deepened, touching on more personal aspects of pleasure and connection. Alira shared more about the Eryxian ways of bonding, which were primarily mental, but could be intensified by environmental factors, much like the scents and visuals Liam had shown her. I am beginning to see how intertwined the senses are with emotional states for humans, Alira reflected. In Eryxia, we might feel these states, but we do not experience them through such a rich sensory tapestry. Liam nodded, pleased with her insight. It's these experiences that can make relationships richer and more meaningful. Sharing them with someone can be deeply bonding. As they concluded their session, Alira stood, her expression contemplative yet satisfied. Thank you, Liam, for sharing your world so vividly with me. Each session we have broadens my understanding not only of humans, but of what it means to truly connect. And I, in turn, am learning so much about Eryxians and myself, Liam responded warmly. Your perspectives challenge me to think beyond what I know. They agreed to meet again, each session drawing them closer, not just in knowledge, but in a shared experience of discovery. As Alira left, the soft echo of her departure lingered in the air, a reminder of the unique journey they were on together, exploring the sensory worlds that shaped their very beings. As the weeks progressed, the bond between Liam and Alira deepened, transcending the initial curiosity and academic interest that had brought them together. Their meetings had become a highlight of Liam's daily routine at the station, and it was clear that Alira shared this sentiment. Tonight, they planned to explore the topic of emotional intimacy, a complex and vital aspect of human relationships that Liam felt was crucial for Alira to understand. Liam had prepared a quiet corner of the communal lounge for their discussion, choosing a place with a view of the starlit void outside the station's windows. The backdrop of distant galaxies seemed apt for a conversation about the depths of emotional connection. When Alira arrived, she seemed contemplative, perhaps already mulling over the subject at hand. Liam, I've been thinking about our last conversation, she started, settling into a seat across from him. You mentioned that emotional intimacy involves sharing one's deepest fears, hopes, and dreams. It sounds very vulnerable. It is, Liam acknowledged, nodding. It's about letting someone see the parts of you that you might not be comfortable sharing with just anyone. It's about trust. Alira considered this, her gaze drifting toward the stars. In Eryxian culture, we often share thoughts and emotions openly, but the deeper connections you describe are reserved for very few. It's a different kind of sharing, more selective, perhaps more protective. Liam appreciated her insight. It's similar for humans. While we can be open to an extent with many, true emotional intimacy is about sharing with those few who really understand and accept us as we are. It's a mutual exchange. To achieve such a connection, what must one do? Alira asked, genuinely curious. One key aspect is communication, Liam explained. Being honest about your feelings and thoughts is crucial. It's not just about sharing what you feel, but also why you feel it and what it means to you. Alira listened intently, absorbing every word. And this honesty helps to build the trust you mentioned? Yes, exactly, Liam said. Trust grows when you feel heard and understood. When you know that your vulnerabilities are safe with another person, and they trust you with theirs. The conversation shifted to practical examples, and Liam shared personal stories from his life, times when he had opened up to someone, and the outcomes of those moments. Alira, in turn, shared more about how Eryxians managed their emotional connections, highlighting the contrasts and similarities between their approaches. As they delved deeper, the discussion became more reflective. Alira shared her apprehensions about forming such deep connections so far from her home and people. Liam listened, offering words of encouragement and understanding, embodying the very principles of emotional intimacy they were discussing. I find myself grateful for these talks, Alira confessed as the evening drew to a close. They are enlightening, not just intellectually but personally. I feel closer to you, Liam, and to understanding your kind. Liam felt a warmth spread through him at her words. And I, too, feel a greater connection, Alira. It's been a profound journey, not just academically, but in the true sense of learning about each other. They concluded the session with a commitment to further explore these themes, both recognizing the importance of these discussions in not only bridging their cultural divide, but also in forging a unique friendship that might not have been possible in any other circumstances. As Alira left, Liam remained seated, looking out at the stars. The depth of the universe outside mirrored the depth of what was growing between him and Alira, a complex, beautiful understanding that transcended worlds. The atmosphere in the research station had grown tense with the news that Liam's assignment was nearing its end. The realization that he would soon have to leave brought a palpable sense of urgency to his remaining time, especially concerning his relationship with Alira. Their discussions and explorations had created a bond that neither had fully anticipated, and now they faced a decision about what would come next. Liam paced his quarters, reviewing his options. He could return to Earth, continuing his research from there, but the thought of leaving Alira and the unique intercultural exchange they had established weighed heavily on him. Meanwhile, Alira faced her own challenges. Her mission on the station was ongoing, and her people were not known for their flexibility in reassigning their envoys. The constraints of their respective roles in the universe seemed insurmountable. When Alira arrived at his quarters for their scheduled meeting, she found Liam lost in thought, staring out the window at the stars that had been silent witnesses to their growing closeness. "Liam!" Alira's voice broke the silence, pulling him from his reverie. He turned to greet her, managing a smile. "Alira, good to see you," he said, though his tone betrayed his inner turmoil. Alira stepped closer, sensing his distress. "I've been thinking about your departure," she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "It seems so final, doesn't it?" "It does," Liam admitted, his voice heavy. "I've been considering asking for an extension, but even that would only be a temporary solution." They sat together, the weight of the decision pressing down on them. After a moment, Alira spoke again, her usual composure tinged with a rare vulnerability. "Liam, our time together has changed me. I understand humans more deeply now, but more than that, I understand myself better. The thought of not continuing our discussions, it feels like losing a part of myself." Liam reached out, taking her hand, an intimate gesture they had grown accustomed to. "I feel the same, Alira. You've opened my world in ways I couldn't have imagined. Leaving now would feel like leaving part of my life behind." The room was quiet for a long time as they each wrestled with their emotions and the reality of their situation. Finally, Liam spoke, his decision clear in his mind. "What if we didn't let this be the end? What if we found a way to continue this, somewhere else?" Alira looked at him, surprise and hope warring in her eyes. "Are you suggesting we leave the station? Together?" "Yes," Liam affirmed. "I can't think of going back to my old life, Not after what we've discovered here. We could find a new project, or even start one of our own, focused on interspecies communication and relations. The idea was bold, perhaps even reckless, but as they discussed it further, the possibility seemed less like a fantasy and more like a feasible plan. They talked late into the night, plotting potential steps, considering the challenges they would face from their respective governments and peers. By the time Aelira left, a tentative plan had taken shape. They would both approach their superiors with a proposal for a joint venture, a new research initiative that could benefit both their species and others. The decision brought a mix of excitement and apprehension. They were stepping into unknown territory, both personally and professionally. Yet, the potential to continue their work together, to explore the depths of interspecies relations and perhaps deepen their own connection, felt like a risk worth taking. As Liam watched Aelira leave, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The upcoming challenges seemed daunting, but the prospect of facing them with Aelira by his side gave him the courage he needed to move forward. The stars outside no longer seemed just distant points of light, but beacons guiding him toward a new future. The final days at the research station passed in a whirlwind of preparations and farewells. Liam and Aelira worked tirelessly, presenting their proposal for a new joint research initiative to their respective leaders. Their plan was ambitious: to establish a mobile research unit that would travel between different worlds, studying and facilitating interspecies communication and cooperation. The aim was not only to extend the work they had begun, but to set a precedent for future collaborations across species lines. As they awaited the decision, Liam and Aelira spent their remaining time at the station in a bittersweet mix of anticipation and nostalgia. They revisited their favorite spots around the station, each location filled with memories of the conversations and discoveries that had brought them so close together. The connection between them had deepened, grounded in mutual respect and a shared vision that went beyond academic interest to something profoundly personal. Finally, the day came when they received the response to their proposal. The message arrived early in the morning, and they met in Liam's quarters to read it together. Aelira's hand found Liam's as he opened the communication. They read in silence, each word carrying the weight of their future. To their relief and joy, the proposal had been accepted. Both the human and Eryxian authorities saw the value in their project, granting them not only the resources needed, but also the autonomy to lead it as they saw fit. The approval was a testament to the trust and respect they had earned from their superiors, and a recognition of the importance of their work. With the decision made, the reality of their new journey began to set in. There were logistics to arrange, supplies to gather, and goodbyes to be said. The station had been a crucible for their relationship, a place of growth and discovery, but now they were ready to take their next steps into a wider universe. On the day of their departure, their colleagues gathered to bid them farewell. The mood was celebratory but tinged with sadness. Liam and Aelira thanked everyone, their words heartfelt. They promised to keep in touch, to share their findings, and to return someday with new knowledge and experiences. As they boarded their new vessel, a sleek ship equipped with the latest in travel and research technology, the scale of their undertaking began to truly sink in. They were about to embark on a journey that would take them across star systems, into new encounters with diverse species, each with unique communications and cultures to explore. Standing at the threshold of their ship, Liam looked at Aelira, her face alight with excitement and determination. "Ready to start our new adventure?" he asked, offering his hand. Aelira took it, her grip firm and confident. "More than ready," she replied with a smile. "Let's see what the stars hold for us." With that, they stepped onto the ship, the doors closing behind them. As the vessel detached from the station and began its journey into the vast starry expanse, Liam and Aelira watched the receding lights of what had been their home. Together they faced the stars, not just as researchers but as pioneers on a mission to bridge worlds and cultures. The future was uncertain and full of challenges, but they had each other and a shared purpose. Whatever lay ahead, they were ready to meet it head-on, together against the stars.